able to nip at the heels and take sets. But when it comes to taking tournament wins over Jackal, very seldomly doesn't happen directly. Possible. Very, very possible. Beast is a very, very stalwart player in his own right. But it feels like Jackal and just the way he plays and his constant reactionary and responsive nature to the pressure that Beast applies is really hard for Beast to work around, as Jackal's defense is just so tried and true.
Hopefully on the part of Beast's case, that download won't happen as fast as it can if the foot's on the other foot, because Beast is the one on winner's side, as we got sitting pretty. So Jackal's got a little less room to adapt on the way back in. Beast loses a set. He could very well lose 3 more games pretty fast afterwards. It might not matter. And with the way Jackal Harris is playing, it's looking like it very well might not matter how fewer games that Beast has to win as opposed to Jackal. But set just started. We got a long ways to go potentially, so let's see what happens, Google.
That is as perfect a first stock as you could have gotten from Jackal, and now you get to play your game. I love that combo route, by the way. Fair falling up air nair. Beautiful. A, looks clean. B, forcing horizontal situations is typically something Wolf wants to do, since his air drift allows him to catch up with any character so quickly.
Plus, it gets you closer to the ledge, which allows for stage control if you decide to play a little bit more patient or if you want to be a little more aggro. Jackal can be both depending on the matchup. He's one of the most adaptative players I have ever seen touch the sticks in my life. So that's why those horizontal combos are also very important as well. It's just a matter of positioning as well. Haagen-Dazs scoop yet again, 3-1.
Yeah, tried to stagger pressure with that jab 1-2 into a dash back, probably a dash back F tilt of some kind. But that scoop is going to find the hurt box of Charizard's tail and convert that into a stock. And hey, we're going to convert that to yet more damage. The dash back was beautiful on the part of Jackal and covering the switch as well. This is the first game off to an amazing start for the Wolf prowess.
Wolf O'Donnell, more like Wolf O'Dominant right now. Not even losing that first stock, and the edge guard just barely missing. That was a couple pixels away. Not even going to matter as the advantageous position is still there, and that is a dominant way to start the set. And a bit of a message to send to start the set as well, opening it up with a 3 stock like that. Saying this could very well be one of those rounds where we get like a 6-0 or just like a quick losers or a quick bracket reset right here. It doesn't matter if I'm in losers if you don't know how to adapt to me in the first place, but this is one of Philly's finest for a reason. Well, I'm very anxious to see how he's going to be able to adapt to this Wolf, if at all, if their set count has any indicator to that notion.
It's always hard because sometimes it feels like Jackal is playing on something. Sometimes it's a Beast who's figured something out about his own playstyle. I do like the willingness to do this, however. Change up stage, change up anything about what had just happened, because not a lot went right in that previous game. And while it's hold true to the fact that getting 3-stocked and the end result there isn't always indicative of how the games went, that one was extremely dominant from Jackal. So getting to a different stage and trying a different look is quite big. Ooh, may not matter.
I was wondering why he went for a neutral air on the Ivysaur instead. Like, maybe he thought he could get back to ledge faster with it and back air was too committal of an option. It looked like it would have been true, but I don't know. He's too big-brained. I guess he recognized that even after whipping that, he would have still been in a positive position after he switched Pokemon, and that was a much safer back air to go for as opposed to doing it after burning your double jump over the ledge like that. That's the only thing I could think of, like, for, not going for back air originally there. But it didn't matter. He got the stock regardless, so, that's just...
I mean,
who am I to say anything different?
It's forcing a frame trap, and, frame traps is everything for characters with high mobility like Wolf. You're able just to turn things around, and as soon as players are willing to not press that air dodge button, or in the case of Pokemon Trainer, that switch button, well, then you turn it around and put on the damage. That's a huge opportunity from Beasto, and he capitalizes it with an Ivysaur down there to take the stock. But man, oh man, you just consistently find yourself way behind the 8-ball if you're Beast, and you can't have that. This Ivysaur does not have the high tempo if you're not finding these edge guards. Been able to keep Jackal in the corner quite a bit, though. We heard the footstool noise, yet it's not going to turn out into anything quite that dangerous as the sour hit of that back air cements Jackal's lead yet again.
I don't know if that was like a matter of just how good Jackal's reaction time is. If he that's the reason why he elected not to go for a downward angled Wolf up B right there to try to continue damage, because he recognized that he was able to shield quick enough. And maybe that's why he decided to do it away immediately. I don't know how lenient the window is for the Wolf up B to be able to do that. I'm pretty sure in those situations, it allows you to pick and choose your moments well.
Yeah, I mean, the footstool up B is a true conversion, just he Phantom footstooled instead. So
yeah.
It was a little bit more awkward. Didn't get quite the right hit. Tried for it again. Beast didn't punish like a gentleman.
You know, it's respectful.
Yeah. He's like, all right, I respect you. You didn't get the right punish, or you didn't get the tech right, so, you know, I'll just let you come to the ground. No harm, no foul. Jackal, of course, takes no quarter, takes the game with the sweet spot of that up tilt. And honestly, at the rate we're going, we may end bracket before 10:30.
And I do have to say, you know, all memes aside, you can just tell by Beast's reaction that he very well did not mean to do that. He reeled back in his seat off of that whiff punish. Unfortunately, I have a sad thing to say to you all watching right now. It was not a gentlemanly move that he decided not to punish Jude there.
Oh, shucks.
He just messed up. Chivalry is, in fact, dead.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
They really do, don't it? And I believe we're seeing small battlefield for the first time in our block.
Yep.
Actually, I don't think we ever saw this.
We saw
which is
Town
really
and City
weird.
in Pokemon Stadium. That was the first time we saw Smashville as well. So it's only Beast trying out different stages, and given the way these past 2 games have gone, I'm not surprised we're seeing some big changes made, even if they're just like from small stage, from a very neutral heavy stage that everyone is kind of used to playing on, to a suite of small stages to try and take advantage of some scramble situations that Beast tends to thrive in. But it just feels like Jackal, he's not guessing or scrambling. He always just knows the right answer.
Seemingly, yeah. And like, how much does the stage necessarily matter when like you're just picking and choosing your options so well? Like, he's just played against Beast so many times that he can do stuff like that and have it connect and know that it's gonna work, knowing just what he's gonna do necessarily when he's gonna do it. You can change stage as much as you want if it fits your playstyle, and it might help you a little bit because it's gonna actually reduce how good Jackal's positioning is, because it's not gonna matter because he'll have less room to do it. But at the same time, it's not gonna matter if you yourself aren't adapting properly. And so far in this set, Beast has not been the one to be able to do that, as he's doing it up against one of the world's best adaptative players, in my humble opinion and myself. It's the Charlie Brown football kick. Finally going to do it right there off of the side. Let's see how much insurance he's going to be able to tack on this stock to get it. Waiting patiently for Beast to go back down to the platform as he's able to get even more damage off top of it. Recognizing the options that he's picking in disadvantage as well. And even in the moments where he doesn't commit to an option where he picks and chooses, the moments he does the opposite of that, where he just drifts so far away with an aerial to the point where he knows he's safe, because he's been in this situation so many times.
It's just a clinic right now, and like seeing Jackal consistently switch up when he's pressing, when he's baiting air dodges, when he's forcing air dodges even. Beast trying to air dodge to the ledge in order to get by the dash attack. Not gonna give him the ledge though, and yet another full stock lead for this Wolf. Potential combo here, and a big one at that, to the tune of 53%, but Beast needs a whole lot more than just damage on this Squirtle in order to close out and get close to this game. An even trade here is not a win, and we are far from even with that fair to bear. Can he finish off with the Nair? Great switch on the part of Beast to get out of that precarious spot, but I mean, in Tunis, we're just seeing Jackal be right time and time and time again, as that right there was the correct thing to do against Flare Blitz. Take the hit and let Beast tumble by the wayside.
That was the quintessential textbook moment that you will see in How to Play Smash Brothers 101 as to what it looks like to know a matchup this well.
Yeah, to know a player this well.
I mean, he nared there too in case the frames weren't there, to the point where if I'm gonna get far enough out here to the point where I might catch him before the Flare Blitz comes out, I'm gonna need an active hitbox to try to gimp him just in case. But it doesn't matter. It's essentially like a pseudo option select, because he gets it out. Oh, I land the Nair, whatever. He'll like land off further. Maybe I'll get the strong hit or he'll die. I don't. Doesn't matter if his hitbox beats mine, because now he's too far away.
Truly checkmate.
It really was. That's the best way I could describe it. Just a checkmate. Oh, God. Speaking of checkmates.
Oh, he saved him. That's a shame.
That's not exactly what you want to be doing. Just, we got one guy, like, jumping out in front of the recoveries to not save him, and then we got this just scooping him up.
It feeds the narrative. Beast, the gentleman, is in his gentleman arc.
That's right. He's a good guy. I played a lot of different platform fighters with him. He's a good lad. Yeah. We don't say that enough on the mic. He's a nice dude, yeah.
We talked a little about Rivals 2 downstairs a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
He's excited, as I am, too.
I played against him in brackets of NASB 2 as well.
Nice.
He plays SpongeBob for some reason.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is really weird. Instead of Reptar, but people thought I'd play SpongeBob because he's like the Mario of the game, and I didn't want to do that either, so I didn't judge Beast for not playing Reptar.
I always took Beast as like an LT Gray enjoyer.
You would think. I mean, Reptar's like the Charizard of that game, but there's this whole thing about not wanting to play the same type of characters in both games, which is why I stopped being surprised that he played him. But enough about that. We're here in game number 1 of the reset, I should say.
Thinking of different characters, though, we'll have to see how this game goes, because this is a really that was a solid combo and a solid read there on the part of Beast. Sticking on this Squirtle is getting him some good mileage. But if this game goes by the wayside really quickly, I wouldn't be surprised to see a potential character swap. I don't know. It just kind of depends on how Beast is feeling in this day. And we know for certain that Jackal is putting up a mighty insurmountable wall for him to deal with the laser in order to cover all of that space. Just taking the ledge trap yet. No dice on the dash attack afterwards. Not going to close out the stock at the very least, but holding positions is something that Jackal does very, very well.
It's like he understands the matchup so well that it almost appears like Jackal is playing like a safe mash play style, which, knowing him, is not. It's very matchup dependent. That is not how he always plays the game. No. Not at all. But it seems like that's how he's playing it because of how often these two have like gone at each other's throats. That he's just picking and choosing his moments so well that he's drifting in with so many different types of aerials, and he's doing it in a way that he can't get punished. And he's doing that against a character that is 3 characters in 1. You know how hard that is?
The only character he's had problems with is Squirtle, which makes sense. Squirtle is easily the hardest one to deal with as Wolf due to his short stature and prolific combo game. But also, the damage output that...
Oh my god!
Oh my lord.
He almost body blocked him again. It almost worked.
Yeah, good on Beast in order to utilize that second jump of Charizard before going for the Flare Blitz, but man, oh man, is Jackal just able to put out so much damage and instantaneously force Beast to try and be in his comfort zone and be on the character that can survive these brutal assaults of advantage that Jackal is just constantly foraying at Beast.
Never say never. It doesn't matter what situation we're talking about,
but
except
maybe
for now
game.
where I'm going to say never because he died immediately. I was just going to say you never know. He could get the back throw by the ledge, but Jackal, I mean, if he's moving that well, if he's flying through the air like a butterfly and stinging as hard as this bee, in just the beef, the CQC interactions, you know he's not going to press a bad button in the scenario where every other player that's worse than him does against Beast. You know he's not going to do that there. So the question is, if you're taking away that sort of like specialist playstyle like you mentioned earlier, it's all just left for the more... What was the other thing you said with the G word? General. I almost said generative for some reason. I've been saying that so much at my job. That's why I got my G words confused. It almost comes down to that, just the raw fundies of Beast. And he's got the fundies. The question is, how much is it going to matter against the fundamental god?
You could argue to try and not beat Jackal at his own game. Like, don't try and match him blow for blow at something that he's put so much time to and practiced against players like Tweak and Zamba and some of the best in the business. Rather, maybe it's time to get a little degenerative. Maybe it's time to get a little bit haywire and see where that leads you. Because right now, just trying to match him and play the same game that you have been, that's not working.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how Beast, who was in the winner's side before we had the reset going on here, had the opportunity to do that because he has way more time to adapt to Jackal than the other way around. But how much do you see it as how much do you see it as a mountain that you have to climb versus what you can do? Because at the end of the day, if he just decides to start picking and choosing his moments just a little bit better as that up air takes the stock and just try to go for the classic Beast stuff, how long before Jackal adapts to that? Before you can last on that. That's the kind of stuff that you have to try to rely on when you're the one on the winner side of the bracket that we weren't even able to really see happen or occur because Jackal just bashed on this man as if he wasn't one of the best players to touch the sticks himself.
He's put a lot to think about in Beast's head, but starting to come together a little bit with this Squirtle, holding on to a lot of damage, finding some up Bs out of shield, reading the landing correctly, but just barely misspacing it with that forward smash. And now that Jackal is back on stage, able to get some real solid damage. Nice drift on the part of Beast to try and avoid all of these frame traps, yet the Squirtle starting to get brutalized, forcing the swap. Wrong hit of Nair sends Beast luckily back into center screen, but damage has already been done. 102 and just delayed it too long.
Jackal saw that there were 3 numbers in front of his opponent's character instead of 2. That's when you do that.
Always, always, always. A nice reversal there on the part of Beast in order to keep this game even. Definitely the best game that we have seen from the Pokemon trainer.
I hate to be that guy, but I guess there were technically 4 numbers because they do show the decimal percent.
Oh,
but you get what I'm saying. You all know it at home, just in case.
We immediately knew, but
just in case you don't understand, there's more ledge. There's less ledge and vulnerability when you're over 100%. That's why that's why he did the down smash there to school. Just in case you don't know.
The Nair out of shield, hunting for that.
Man, footstooling off of him to get back. That was cute. He's dead.
Yes. And Beast, instant, like you can just see the defeat in his face. Like he's running it back. The other stages didn't work, so we're just trying to keep as few variables as possible. The way and the will in order to win that game was there, trying out different ledge options, delays a little bit. The footstool as well, mashing footstool is definitely a great way to get out of dangerous spots. But if you're thinking and your mental stack is so high about avoiding frame traps and different kill setups and whether or not Jackal will edge guard or not, because we've seen that and we've not seen that, how to avoid ledge play, sometimes you just end up missing a tech when your mental stack is that overwhelmed.
And it becomes so much when you have to keep track of all of that and you're thinking about too much rather than just being able to think just the right amount to be comfortable.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like if you're thinking about every little option, it's too much. And you're not going to be able to handle that. What you need to do, to beat players like Jackal, is you got to eventually just get to that level of play where a lot of those options become second nature, to the point where you have to think about them just enough, but still little enough, to the point where they become a part of your what's the word I'm looking for here? Your autopilot. Your muscle memory or your autopilot. To the point where you can get in between thinking while playing and autopiloting. That's where you have to get off of. You're downloading as much information as Beast is right now, trying to get in as much as Jackal as he can. The last 2 games, he's had the lead at the start. So it's not that he's not learning. It's just, is it too little too late? Is there too many options you have to think about against a Titan like Jackal Harris, man? It's rough. But hey, this might be the one game that he wins with the way that Beast is playing. Look at these neutral airs.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of how Beast is turning up in this game, hunting for a little bit more of the offstage game, changing up his combo routes to fit for fast fallers. He's starting to get more used to how Wolf plays, and that allows him to siphon off a lot of what he's been thinking about as just, this is what I do against Wolf versus this is what I have to do against Jackal. Now that's starting to get into his muscle memory and sort itself out a little bit better, though Jackal is on tournament point at the moment, and he's not looking to let Beast get any sort of fire lit underneath him, because you know what he can do when he's starting to let things burn.
Razor Leaf hitbox gets smaller as it travels.
Yes and no. The hitbox itself slows down, so it doesn't linger or traverse as far as the miss tech does result in Beast dropping that stock thanks to the edge guard.
Only reason I'm saying that is because Jackal avoided it by shooting a laser. And the Wolf was still standing up, and the Razor Leaf was still just above his head, barely scratching his ears, and it didn't hit him.
Razor Leaf also curves randomly, up, down, or center.
I guess that had to have been it, because it looked like it was close enough to him. That's why I was asking if the hitbox started to dwindle or die like the longer it was out.
I don't think the actual hitbox changes. I think it's just the speed at which it moves does.
Hell, I'm gonna have to look at that myself in the VOD, because I'm just curious at this point.
I mean, certainly plenty of things to be curious about, but Jackal has just got such a rap at the moment, and every single time Beast finds a way to gain some momentum, Jackal responds, reacts, and nips it in the bud, trying to set up for some empty land mix-ups here and ready. Yet it just gets so hard in order to apply your offense when Jackal is equally as mobile. Beast resulted on this Charizard for the remainder of the game. That roll was so well timed to avoid the Flare Blitz, but the spot dodge a little too presumptuous. A nice read there from Beast to give himself a fighting chance, if not for the dash dance forward smash, something that Jackal had not put out the entirety of these two sets. And by 3-0 fashion both ways, it's going to be Jackal taking the Fusion before Collision.
Save your resources.
196. Fusion 196.
That's the one. Wow. That's an amazing number, man. Congratulations to all of you for that. And obviously for putting on the amazing show that you guys do every year and you're going to do later on this weekend. I was going to say, man, you know, like, it doesn't matter if, like, you're a character that doesn't have a literal finite resources, like your Robins or, like, any type of character. Every character in this game is resource management. That's just part of having fundamentals. No, and by that, I mean picking and choosing your options. Like you just said, well, he didn't do that the whole set. Either set. Going for that, like, you know, dash back forward smash that we saw going back on right there. He saved it for when he needed it and just pick and chose his moments so well. It's like I can't tell if it was just matchup knowledge, player knowledge, or this insane combination of both, or if it was just the insane experience that Jackal just has as a player. Because there were moments during those sets where he made Beast look like a worse player than he actually is.
And I think that's what the best players can do to you. Like, they make you seem foolish for picking what are traditionally good options or interesting ways around things or things that you practice. In this clip right here, for instance, it started off with a tether cancel forward air from Beast. Typically something really good from Ivysaur. But because Jackal has such a wherewithal on the simple and the effective, as well as the complex and the effective, he's able to respond in kind and be fully aware of what to do, which allows him to have less on his mind and less in his mental stack compared to Beast, who's just constantly thinking and overthinking every little thing.
In short, matchup knowledge, execution, and practice leads to that sweet spot between autopilot and thinking too much. And that is how you press buttons in the face of the most aggressive and scariest Charizard that no other player in this venue would not only dare to be able to do, but if they did, would not be able to.
He got second place for a reason. Shout out to the Beast, of course, for playing an incredible tournament for all except into Jackal. But to be fair, Jackal is a quite the beast of his own.
One of the best players in the world. But yeah, we're gonna be running final ad break.
Nope, no ads.
No, we're just closing.
We are closing it out here in
bad.
Tunis. And hey, no problem. We had some incredible tournaments. We had some incredible players. And for the Fusion Before Collision, wouldn't have it any other way. But 52 entrants showing up today has an incredible experience. You're not going to want to miss any of the Tri-State Weeklies throughout this week, including Waypoint Warriors tomorrow at twitch.tv/Waypoint Cafe, Xeno on Wednesday, as well as Nightclub on Wednesday for all Melee fans. And then on Thursday, Center Stage will be running as well. So whether you're an Ultimate fan or a Melee fan or anything else the like, you're going to want to keep an eye on Twitch. And of course, make sure to follow Collision Smash and Collision Series on Twitch and on Twitter for all of the Collision updates this weekend. Any final thoughts?
I couldn't have said that any better myself, truly.
Then let's go off and have a good night.
Spider-Man.